It's time for high school sports on the NCW Life Channel. Today's broadcast of high school sports on the NCW Life Channel is presented by Alignment Pros, Automoca, Color FX, Global Car Care, One Way Construction, and the Windmill Restaurant. NCW Life Channel's coverage is also brought to you by Charter College and the Walkabout Grill. Now let's go live for all the action for tonight's coverage of high school sports on your home for local sports, the NCW Life Channel.
Good afternoon and welcome to Eastmont Lanes. Along with Paul Paiva, I'm Eric Grandstrom here on the NCW Life Channel as we get ready to bring you Big Nine Girls Bowling on the NCW Life Channel. Well, the Wenatchee Panthers are the home team here, although this is the home court. It's the home alley for both schools as Eastmont and Wenatchee come in, Paul, with a blemish on the record, which the last 2 years when we've done this and filmed the bowling, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, but you have to remember, these are two fresh teams that got a lot of new blood. They just got to find that chemistry, try to work it out, try to figure out what works, what doesn't, and they'll figure it out, and then you'll start to see them shine.
Well, let's talk about the level of achievement so far between these two programs. I mean, unlike anything we've seen anywhere else in sports in the Wenatchee Valley, with the, 3 state championships now between the two schools.
It's no misnomer that they are two great teams, and they've got great coaching behind them and great parents. So you're going to continue to see wins come out of these two teams.
Well, interestingly enough, we've got Eastmont warming up behind us here doing jumping jacks. And a lot of people don't assimilate bowling with actual athletics, but you have to be athletic in order to bowl.
Well, given the history, you come down here, you go bowling. What do you feel the next morning? A lot of pain, a lot of soreness. Yeah. So you got to stretch. You got to stretch the quads, the arms. You got to break things up, get ready to get loose for the game.
Early season like this, what do you look for in this match here today?
Early on, you're looking for that spark. You're looking for that one girl that's going to push the team. Sometimes they make head captains, but sometimes head captains are just appointed. They're just there. Sure. So you're looking for that spark, that interest, that finesse, and you're looking for good skills because they will mimic. Anyone will mimic those good skills. So you see one girl getting a strike, the next girl's going to want to do the same thing.
Well, Order 21 is ready, and we're about ready for bowling here as well. And we're going to talk to Christy and to Jeff, the head coaches for both squads, as we continue here from Eastmont Lanes as we get ready for Big Nine Bowling. It's Wenatchee at Eastmont next on the NCW Life Channel.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
What's your Automoca emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Our pregame show continues here on the NCW Life Channel as we get ready for bowling between Wenatchee and Eastmont today. And Wenatchee, the home team, even though this is their home alley for both schools. Jeff Levitt joining us now. Jeff, early going, and strangely, I was just talking to Paul Paiva about this. We're not used to seeing either team with a loss in the early going, but there's some other teams that are stepping up this year.
Absolutely, and we ran into a really good Eisenhower squad. They're very, very experienced seniors and juniors running out there. They have really good team chemistry, and honestly, they bowled a good game. And but we left 15 single pin open frames, and if we just pick up 4 spares, we win because they only beat us by 42 pins. So we thought we were right there. We just didn't have the mental toughness, I didn't think, to to finish that up. But now we've worked on that, and so we're hoping that that comes through today.
Well, speaking of working on that, it seems like you've righted the ship quite a bit. Let's talk about what happened yesterday for you guys against Moses Lake. That was quite the match.
Yeah, it really was. We work on some things, of course, in practice, and we had some girls drop some 200 games yesterday, and I had to have someone step in for a girl that was out, and she did a great job. So it was really a true team effort. And so, yeah, we took advantage of a team that in the first couple of frames of the first game didn't mark at all. So we got a big lead. The momentum was great, and we just kept on the throttle and kept going.
Let's talk about your girls. I see some recognizable names, but of course, always with graduations, you need to bring young ladies up. Talk about your team.
Well, yeah, we're a veteran team. The new name, I guess, in the starting lineup is Jaden Thompson. She's a junior last year. At the beginning of the season, she had never picked up a bowling ball, and just through hard work and determination and really excellent coaching by my assistant landlord, we call him, she's put it together. So we got her back in the lineup today. We didn't have her yesterday, and so we're hoping that she brings that little extra push to beat these Wildcats.
You've got Jessica back, and she seems to be picking up right where she left off. And then a youngster who came through for you yesterday. I mean, a 244, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, Jessica is a veteran. She's been through the wars. She's done travel leagues, JBT tournaments. I mean, she's just really experienced, and so it's nice to have that anchor there. But Kyla, being a sophomore at the top, is a very intimidating presence. When she's on, she's really on. In that 244, it very easy. She hit the pocket on every first ball. It easily could have been a 300. She left a pocket split. She was ringing 10, and she had a 9 on her last ball in the 10th frame. So it could have been a 300. Would have been amazing.
Well, best of luck here today. I know you guys will have a fun time no matter what.
All right, thank you.
You bet. There you go, Jeff Levitt joining us here on the pregame. We'll come back, talk to Christy Bingy, and find out how Eastmont is in the early going as we get ready for Eastmont at Wenatchee here at Eastmont Lanes next on the NCW Life Channel.
Hey everyone, so today I'm tackling Medical Assistant Ninja, trying to get that next level career. Man, this dead-end job is holding me back. Decision time, I'm going Charter College. Now I'm a medical assistant student. Rocking it? Yeah, earned the President's Award. Score! Took my career to the next level. Hey, I can level up to Medical Assistant Ninja, so can you. Get on it.
Our pregame show continues here on the NCW Life Channels. We're joined by Christy Bingy now, the head coach for the Eastmont Lady Cats, and I'm happy you're here. Sound like it was a little adventure just to get here.
Yeah, absolutely. The light at Grant Road is not working correctly, and there's a lot of traffic. So, yeah, I'm here. Thankful to be here.
I was talking with some folks, and they were kind of surprised that this game would be today, day before Thanksgiving, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I guess the alley is normally like crammed with people, but here we are.
Yes. Well, I'm not in charge of the schedule, so, it's kind of out of my hands when they schedule us. Yeah. I think because we added Sela and Ellensburg as non-conference matches, and so they're trying to get all our matches in.
Let's talk about the season so far for you. We're talking about the fact that it seems odd that there would be a loss, something in the loss column for either team, and you both have one. Tell me about the season so far.
Okay. Well, so high school girls bowling, it's 4 years, and you're lucky as a coach if you get someone for 4 years, maybe 2 years, and then they graduate and go on and pursue their goals. And so, maybe we were state champs, but a lot of those kids have graduated. So we have the smatterings of that team, and we have a very young team. So, yes, a loss early on. Well, we have a week to prepare, and then you're immediately into a tournament and immediately into your season. A lot of kids don't bowl year-round, and so that means they're just trying to get up to speed. So probably mid-season, we should be where we should be, hopefully.
Well, and then also for those other teams, you being state champs, that's a target on your back. It doesn't matter who's out there rolling for you.
That's true. But that said, you know, kids do graduate, and so you have the team that's left over afterwards, and then those that join.
Now,
So-
I don't know how much you've had on your roster in the past, but I'm seeing a lot of girls wearing red uniforms around here. That seems like you have a huge turnout.
We have 21, yes, and at one point in time we had 23. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So I guess being prominent, being successful, winning state championships, does that help?
Has helped recruiting. Yeah, I have a lot of freshmen. I have a lot of sophomores. My sophomore team is bonding right now, and so they're the wave of the future. You know, you have to cultivate the new team, but you also have to remember, you know, these are young women that you're being a role model for, and they do have goals and aspirations. And I want to say that the majority of my seniors all have been accepted to college and and are going to college. So yeah, I'm really proud of them.
Well, we're going to let her go because she's on the run here, literally. So best of luck here today.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Christy Bingy joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and get you ready for bowling as we'll get to the first match next on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color FX in Kashmir. Color FX offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Welcome back once again to Eastmont Lanes as we get ready for bowling here on the NCW Life Channel. The starting lineups have been announced, so let's take a look at those. First for the Eastmont Wildcats, who will be the visitors here today, as announced by their head coach, Christy Bingy. Sky Wilson will lead off. She's a senior, followed by Kaylee Bauer, a junior. Dalen Thomas, a sophomore. Samantha Hines, a senior. And Alicia Hastings, a senior. Meanwhile, for the Wenatchee Panthers, is announced by Jeff Levitt. Of course, both teams at 2-1 in Big Nine play so far. Kyla Hankins will start things off. The sophomore. Emily Groth, a senior, is next, followed by Jaden Thompson, a junior. Hannah Johnson, a sophomore, and Jessica Holbrook, a senior. Paul Pivot joining us here on the broadcast. You got a chance to watch him warm up a little bit, and always it seems when you get those first few lanes, you get the first few lines of bowling in, it takes them a little while to get into it, doesn't it?
It does. Thanks for bringing me in, Eric. First off, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time to get that chemistry, that bowling chemistry, where you have the matchups. Girls like to test each other, not just the other team, but they want to bring it every single time for their teammates. So you got to find that perfect lineup that makes sense within the dynamic of the team.
We are bringing you the broadcast here today thanks to the folks from the Alignment Pros and Express Lube. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube, including front and four-wheel alignment online at alignpros.com or at 182 Eastmont Avenue. Also by Automoca. What's your Automoca emergency? Visit one of their 6 locations in the valley, including the only Automoca with inside seating on 5th Street across from the college. Well, we've got Dan Coots running the camera here today as we get ready for bowling on the NCW Life Channel. Again, they'll be using lanes 7 and 8 here at Eastmont Lanes. Eastmont has gone through their cheer. Now Wenatchee will do its cheer. And I was talking with Christy Bingy beforehand, and I said, my goodness, I see a lot of red shirts around here. She says, yeah, biggest turnout ever, 21 that are on the bowling team this year for Eastmont. And I guess success gets a lot of attention, doesn't it, Paul?
Yeah, the word gets out that you've got a great sports group, and word's going to travel, and before you know it, you've got more than you can handle.
The one thing about it, too, that's interesting is that, like you were saying, boy, there's a bunch of faces I don't recognize for both teams. And that's good to get more people involved in a sport that doesn't, typically get a lot of attention.
No. It's a recruitment, and it's a whole process every single year. You want to get those new ones in when the seniors leave. We've had some great talents come out of both of these schools. Cheyenne Greening, you've got Jayla Young from Wenatchee. They're just shining examples that have gone on and become great members of this community.
Well, and Christy telling us also in our pregame show that all of her seniors are already committed to go to college somewhere. And that's, whether they bowl again after high school or not doesn't matter, but the fact that they're going to continue their education beyond, and if bowling helped them get there a little bit, then my gosh, that's a good thing.
And I think it does, because those names shine.
We're coming to you from Eastmont Lanes. We're just the last few moments of instructions from both coaches as the teams get ready. And again, it'll be Sky Wilson up first for Eastmont. Kyla Hankins will be up for Wenatchee High School as we're about ready to go here on the NCW Life Channel. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Color Effects, offering screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, and logo design for your team, school, business, or church at a fair price. Locally owned for over 20 years. Call Color Effects at 509-741-7609. That's at Color Effects. Well, this broadcast, even though we're the day before Thanksgiving on the actual production of it, of course, we're bringing it to you here today on this Saturday, December 1st. So we hope you had a good holiday weekend and a good Thanksgiving. And thanks for joining us here on the NCW Life Channel as Kyla Hankins gets 9 on her first roll, and Sky Wilson with a strike out of the box. How about that?
And you were saying this is the day before Thanksgiving. We're hoping to bring the patrons of this show some more turkeys right before Turkey Day.
There you go. There you go. Here is the second ball, and a nice pickup there by Kyla Hankins. So she's through without a blemish in her first roll here this afternoon at Eastmont Lanes.
That's a nice ball.
Wow. Kaylee Bauer high in the pocket, but was able to get enough action on that head pin to come across and sweep up the rest. So a couple of strikes out of the box here for Eastmont, setting the tone early.
We got a dead wood in the gutter over there on the seven side, so we'll get a little bit of help from there.
So Paul, you're not here at the alley anymore. Well, I heard a bunch of people here behind us talking to you beforehand saying it's not the same around here. What are you doing these days?
I work over at Pacific Aerospace.
Okay.
I'm a metal finisher. I put nickel and gold on stuff. It's actually quite nice. I do miss the family at Eastmont Lanes. They're amazing. And every single year when you come down, you can feel that love in the building because they take care
absolutely.
of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, they welcomed us right in.
Rolling on in.
Happy to have us back.
Just came out of that a little bit loose. I think that's first game jitter there against Wenatchee.
So it's 7 for Daylin Thomas with some work to do on that split. And meanwhile, Jaden Thompson stepping to the lane, Emily Groth trying to finish up her spare here in the right lane in lane 8, and she does nicely.
And that's a simple washout if she could just get her ball on the other side.
How about that pickup there for Daylin Thomas? That's a tough one to get. But, well, that's textbook right there.
It is. It's all about the motion of the ball. The ball was heading towards the 7 side. You want that sweeping motion. It's going to bring that pin over. May not get it all the way over there, but it'll get it close.
Jaden Thompson with 7 on her first ball. She's one of the new blood we're seeing here for Wenatchee High School this year for the varsity squad.
And as of right now, both clubs, we're only, halfway through the first frame, but they're all keeping it clean. That's important. Strikes can come and go, but you got to get your spares. You got to keep chaining those numbers and getting those high scores.
Jaden Thompson looking to pick up 3, a little wide to start, but came right back in the pocket. A nice job. And we've seen that too, where you got to get used to the lanes, and the ladies seem like they're feeling those lanes pretty good right now, Paul.
Well, this is their home turf. They shouldn't feel uncomfortable, and they shouldn't be worried about the approaches being sticky or the lanes being weird, at least for the first few frames.
Samantha Hines on the left lane on lane 7, picked up 7 on her first ball of the game. They played 2 games and then 2 Bakers do the teams to settle things here today. Wenatchee coming off of a sweep of Moses Lake yesterday. So the Panthers riding high in what is their first home match of the season, but a tough roll there for Hannah Johnson.
Another one of those washouts.
Oh, and a nice
Samantha,
pickup there for Samantha.
Samantha was playing that like a washout.
So 2 tough pickups for Dalen Thomas and Samantha Hines in a row here for Eastmont.
Let's see if Hannah can also follow suit. She's going to come in on the other side.
Oh, too bad. So first open frame of the contest comes here on the 4th bowler for Wenatchee High School, Hannah Johnson. Now Jessica Holbrook will try to follow and help out the cause here.
Jessica's got a really unique approach. It's very laid back, very relaxed. She lets the ball do all of the work.
And 9 for Jessica. Alicia Hastings, last year's, I believe, player of the Big Nine for the Eastmont Lady Cats, who went on to win the state championship. And her first ball here is, ooh, a tough one there.
Yeah, you mentioned that she had a stellar year last year, really making tracks, really finding her own place on the lanes.
Jessica Holbrook trying to pick up here in lane 8. Ooh, little bit.
Just a little kiss. That's all you need.
That's all. That's all. Just trying to be delicate. Alicia Hastings, meanwhile, just trying to get some pins to fly
Close
around
cover.
here. Picks up 3. So both team with an open frame in the first frame here today. And looking at a 47-48 score between the two. So that's where we sit right now. Nice new monitors here at Eastmont Lanes.
Yeah, they got some new hardware while I was away.
Figures. You leave and look what happens.
Maybe I had something to do with it. I don't know. But they are beautiful, beautiful screens. Lots of cool graphics.
Kyla Hankins with a strike. And got some Sky got some extra action there and knocks down all but one as we're in the second frame.
And they call that the cookie pin. So don't be surprised if some ladies raise their hands for this 5 pin.
Okay.
This lonely 5 pin that she left. I don't think her teammates will do it, but when we're in practice mode, it's one of the easiest single pins to pick up, but when you put the pressure on the kids, they like to feel that pressure.
Kylie Bauer also with that same cookie pin. Nice pickup here for Sky Wilson. And, excuse me, that was Emily Groth with the remainder of 1 over on lane 7 for Wenatchee. So Emily looking for her second spare of the game. Meanwhile, Kylie Bauer stepping up now for Eastmont on the right side here in lane 8. Going for the Brooklyn side, a little bit too far over, but she
leaves a 1.
Oh, that other pin did fall down, didn't it? Okay. Emily picks up her spare. Well, I guess I was serendipitous there, Paul, because I put the 9 in the wrong spot and put it in Kaylee's frame for the second roll, and she ended up getting 9, so I didn't have to break out the eraser. Trying to pick
little bit
it up.
wide.
Yeah,
Oh, it
but
came back,
came
though.
back and got it. So Kaylee Bauer for Eastmont with a strike and a 9 and spare in her game so far. Back on Jaden Thompson with a powerful strike.
And those new names of the lineup, they're doing really well so far.
Yeah. Daylin Thomas working on a spare in the first. Here she goes in the second frame. Light. 7 again for her. Ooh,
oh,
ouch for Hannah Johnson. Hannah was open in the first and going to be.
And you might be wondering why she left that when she hit the pocket so nicely, but that's all about the ball fading into the pocket. If the ball has no drive, it's just going to go dead once it hits the pocket, and you're going to leave splits like that.
Nice pickup there for Daylin Thomas. So she's picked up her spares, first 2 frames.
Possible.
Hannah Johnson.
Really tough to pick up, though.
She got 1 of the 2, so Hannah's open again here in the second. Meanwhile, Samantha Hines, who is working off of a mark in the first, rolling here in the second.
Playing that down and in shot.
And there's that cookie again. Well, you know, it is the holiday season, so.
It is, and I'll tell you what, If I had a choice between that or picking up a 10-pin, I would take the 5 every time.
The one in the middle. Oh, another split here for Wenatchee is Jessica Holbrook.
Now Jessica knows where to put this, so I would not be surprised if she picked up this big 410 that she left on lane 7.
Ouch. Samantha a little bit off the mark there, so she's open here in the second, and that opens the door a little bit for Wenatchee, but a tough one to pick up for Jessica Holbrook. Let's see how she does.
A little bit wide. She wanted to come in on the other side of that.
Yeah. Well, she got one of the two. Now Alicia Hastings.
Both teams playing very conservative so far, just trying to feel out the lanes, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. Looks like after the second frame, if Alicia picks up this spare, they'll have about a 20-pin advantage.
I was trying to think back to last year when the two teams met and what happened. Alicia does a nice job picking that up. And I think I remember Eastmont winning the second match of the year, but I couldn't remember back to the first match of last year if it was Wenatchee or Eastmont that took that one. I guess we'll have to look back in our archives. By the way, available on our website. You can follow all the action on demand at ncwlife.com. So you can click on that and watch some past matches between Wenatchee and Eastmont here on the NCW Life channel. Ooh, ouch. Another split here for Wenatchee. Kyla Hankins. In the left lane, Sky Wilson with her third ball or third frame.
Seems like the girls are speeding up just a little bit too much too early. The lanes are really, really slick right now.
What do you
so
call this split
slow.
that's facing
actually
Kyla?
that's a Greek church, but you're missing a pin there.
Kyla picks up one of the 4 remaining.
And so if anybody was wondering, that was the 4-6-7-9, which is not a usual spare.
Ooh, cutting that off just a little bit, Sky Wilson there. So everybody's open so far here in the third, as we're at 149 for Eastmont, 146 for Wenatchee.
Oh, very close.
Just missing the pocket, both teams right now. Emily Groth with a 9. And here comes Kaylee Bauer with her first ball here in the second.
Wow.
Sweet looking strike there for Kaylee, her second in her game so far.
That's impressive. To kind of stick with what you've got going on and just stay there. Even though all the other girls are fighting the far side of the lane, she puts the ball inside, just lets the ball flow right through that area.
Emily Groth picks up her spare. So she is, and she's marked in all 3 frames so far for the Wenatchee Panthers. Now Jaden Thompson steps up.
A little bit outside. And
6 for Jaden. And Daylin Thomas found the pocket.
Ooh.
No, kissed. Just couldn't quite get it to go down. Jaden Thompson, watching her ball. I mean, she's letting that ball go right down by her foot.
Mm-hmm.
That one looked like it got away from her a little bit. Daylin Thomas with her attempt to pick up the mark, but can't do it.
Yeah, smooth delivery will put the ball pretty close to your foot if it's coming right off your hand cleanly.
For Wenatchee, Hannah Johnson. Ouch.
Another one, but
looked like it was right in there in the pocket, but not the results you obviously would like. Samantha Hines now.
Good coverage. Oh, leaving a 5.
Got a lot of cookies here today, Paul.
Well, it's that time of season.
Hannah Johnson ready to roll here for Wenatchee as we're in the
takes this
third
light
frame.
on the 5 side. Not light enough.
Just a little heavy on it. So Hannah's been open in all 3, not her typical performance that we've seen in the past. And Samantha kind of came a little across her body on that delivery, and so she misses on her spare attempt here in the third. Jessica Holbrook now stepping up for Wenatchee. Smooth release for Jessica.
Coming up a little high, just a little bit high. Yeah, I don't think we're quite used to more of an attack type approach from either of the predecessors to both of these teams. They're kind of just weighing each other out, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. They aren't really concerned with what the other team is doing right now.
Right. Alicia Hastings with a strike in her frame here in the third. Meanwhile, a nice pickup for Jessica Holbrook. So we'll head to the fourth frame here, and Eastmont's with the advantage, 216 to 196. So they're both certainly within kissing distance of each other here as we head to the fourth frame.
Yeah, we had it on the turn. It was going to be about a 20-point deficit after the second, which it rounded out to be that right now. With the 2 strikes that Eastmont has in the third, but the rest are opens, you're seeing it really, it's neck and neck from here on in for a little while.
Kyla Hankins, beautiful strike for Kyla, her second in this game.
And that's a sign of a good leadoff bowler, is they're going to set the pace for everybody else in the team. Kyla gets that strike, and now everybody else behind her is going to want to step up, throw good quality throws, and see if they can come through and kind of make up that difference.
Emily Groth has marked her first 3 frames here in the fourth. The senior for Wenatchee High School.
Good ball.
Oh, close.
I've thrown plenty of those.
I'm sure you have. And a nice pickup here for Sky Wilson for Eastmont, as she brings a mark to the team here in the fourth to start things off. Boy, Sky gets some velocity out of her ball, I notice. You know, I got a chance to maybe see her throw a couple of times last year, but paying attention to her, she just has that velocity as the ball.
Well, we call it throwing with authority. You come out, you know that you have to put up the numbers, and you know that you have to represent your team, and a lot of that is bringing authority.
Kaylee Power a little bit high on the head pin, but got some help from the others bouncing around there, so she's left with 1 to pick up here in the second. Meanwhile, Emily was open in her fourth, and so now Jaden Thompson will step up for Wenatchee High School. Oops.
A little bit wide.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. That's okay. Time to regroup. Like we said, it's all about quality shots. They don't have to be perfect, but you do want to throw a really good ball.
Kayla Bauer with a little kick of her right foot there, helping a little English on that ball as she's able to pick up her spare in the fourth frame.
And on on lane 7, all you have to remember is you messed up, you made a mistake. Now just go out there and throw your second shot.
Just like that. Just like that. Spare is a spare is a spare is a spare.
That's right. And it doesn't accumulate quite as quickly as throwing 8 or 9 count, but being able to hold your reserve, calm down, take a deep breath, and throw a decent ball, you'll pick up those spares.
That was a great regroup by Jaden Thompson.
It was.
Just a mental regroup. And Junior with a support of her team, and
beautiful.
then followed by Hannah Johnson with a strike. Samantha Hines for Eastmont on the right lane here, found the pocket.
Oh.
Just didn't get the bounce she wanted, but tough 10 pin to pick up for Samantha Hines.
Now let's see if that leadoff strike paid off. Jessica stepping up, see if she can put up a strike. It's going to make for a really nice fourth frame for the Wenatchee girls. Bringing it back.
Nice. Beautiful job by Wenatchee. Even with the open by Emily, and there's a kiss for Samantha Hines. Nice job picking up that 10 pin and gets her mark here in the fourth. And that was following a couple of misses on 9s in the second and third frame. So Samantha, nice job for her to bounce back.
And if you look up at that board right now, we had that leadoff strike by Caleb from Wenatchee. The girls followed suit on that side, but Eastmont's not letting up. They're going to still bring clean frames every single time because they know they've got that lead.
Alicia Hastings with a 9 on her first ball. I'll see how she does pick up this remaining pin here as we close out the fourth frame of our first game between Wenatchee and Eastmont here at Eastmont Lanes.
There we go.
Nice cover for Alicia Hastings. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Global Car Care, a quality auto repair facility with highly trained technicians celebrating 25 years in the car care business. They speak your car's language at 1840 North Wenatchee Avenue. Along with Paul Paiva, I'm Eric Grandstrom here on the NCW Life Channels. We head towards the midpoint of our first game, and Kyla Hankins, you see Wenatchee likes to get up there first.
Hey, it's all about bringing game, show them that you're not afraid. You can also set the pace really easily. That's what makes Kyla such a formidable athlete. If she's up there, she knows that this is her time to shine, and she's going to bring it.
Couple of strikes back-to-back for Kyla. Meanwhile, starting out way wide this time. That ball just didn't want to come back for Sky Wilson. I talked about velocity and maybe overthrowing it possibly a little bit there, feeling the juices here today.
You know, it's really hard when you see that you're having a good game and the other players on the other side are having good games also. You tend to get that blood flowing, get the adrenaline running. It's really hard to kind of just bring it down just a little bit so you don't overshoot it or throw it too hard.
Sky Wilson making those pins clatter down there on her spare in the fifth frame. Meanwhile, Emily Groff trying to pick up the remaining three here for Wenatchee.
It's a little tough. She's going to want that on the other side.
So Emily is open here in the fifth. This is Kaylee Bauer.
A little wide.
Jaden Thompson, meanwhile, for Wenatchee.
It's close.
Look at that. Oh. Jaden likes to take that opposite arm and bring that way high in the air in her delivery. Just all about balance.
It is. It's all about
wherever
balance.
Your comfort level is.
Most of these girls are throwing between a 14 and a 15-pound ball, so they have to offset the hold that they're having on the ball with their arm swing. So
Kaylee Bauer trying to pick this up.
And she's going to go just over, a little too far.
Love the girls' attitudes, though. I mean, it's, they turn around and smile. I got another ball coming later. And, tough luck here for Jaden Thompson. Missing her cover. As Dalen Thomas now quickly steps up for Eastmont. All the girls have taken a different approach here, Paul. Seems like they're starting a few boards over and carrying that out and then back in.
Yeah, well, they're seeing a lot of movement from some of the girls, but you have to remember that people like Jessica Holbrook and Alicia Hastings, they're not putting a lot of speed on their ball. Their ball is hooking a lot, but their revolution rate is really, really low. So when you see it, it's almost like an optical illusion. You're seeing all this movement in the ball, but it's all about speed. A lot of these other girls, they throw with authority, they throw with speed. So they need to just calm down, relax, throw a good quality ball.
Hannah Johnson trying to cover here in the fifth, just enough. So Hannah will be back-to-back solid frames for Wenatchee.
It's got good coverage.
Samantha Hines.
You know, I think, yes, that is Samantha's fourth.
9 in a row.
One
pin lead, yeah.
She's getting closer.
Jessica Holbrook now finishing up Wenatchee's fifth frame.
Ooh. Leaving a little baby split there.
Samantha didn't quite start that one off the way she wanted it to, and so she'll be open here in the fifth.
And now we're seeing that change into the guard. Looks like Wenatchee's kind of taken over just a little tiny bit. They're not afraid to step it up. And we're going to see probably even Steven here coming after the fifth frame.
One more roll for Jessica Holbrook. Coming off of a good game yesterday. Got the one. you want to split those? You want to try to split that?
Yeah, you want to try to split that as much as you can. That's actually one of the toughest splits for me anyways, because you really have to pinpoint where the ball is going to go. And knowing that, especially, only 5 frames in is really tough.
Right.
It's really tough.
Well, Alicia Hastings has that dreaded 10-pin here to pick up.
Looks like
she got it. Nice. Well, let's see where we sit here after 5 frames. It is Eastmont at 374, Wenatchee at 348. So widens the gap just a little bit more here up to, let me do the math real quick. What is that, 30 or 20?
26
pins.
But you have to remember that Kyla's got that double going, so she can easily tie up this game by throwing 1 ball.
That's right. Ladies switch lanes, and again, it'll be
good ball.
Kyla Hankins.
There we go.
Got it.
Now they're even Steven.
Well, and we're doing this broadcast the day before Thanksgiving on the tape here, and that's a turkey for Kyla Hankins. You were asking.
Yeah.
You wanted that turkey. We got it.
And we'll probably see a couple more before the end of this.
Sky Wilson, meanwhile, 8 in her first ball. She's trying to cover for the 3rd frame in a row here for Eastmont. Emily Groth, meanwhile, steps up for Wenatchee, trying to bounce back from a tough couple of frames in a row. Looking good. Oh my.
Just a tad bit too high coming into the pocket.
And here's Sky Wilson with a beautiful pickup. And that's always interesting how the coaches decide who's going to be their leadoff bowler. You kind of want to set that pace, as you were talking about, the tone. And it looks like that senior Sky Wilson, at least velocity-wise, and what happens at the other end of the frame, other end of the alley. I mean, with pins flying around all over the place, even if she's not covering, it's excitement.
It is, and that's she's been in the program for a long time. She's seen the girls that do set the tone, and she's trying to mimic that. That's good bowling. That's good setup for your team. Finding the leadoff bowler is just as important as finding a good anchor.
Jaden Thompson is 7. She went left there. A little bit too far over. Meanwhile, tough pickup attempt here for Kaylee Bauer. She got the 2
of them.
It's all about pin count at the end of the day to determine who will win this first meeting of the season between Eastmont and Wenatchee. Jaden Thompson with her second ball.
Very consistent bowler today.
Nice cover for Jaden Thompson. Bounces back from an open, and there's a strike for Daylin Thomas.
And she has only had 1 open frame in 6 frames now.
Very consistent there in that 3 spot for Eastmont. Hannah Johnson sizing things up here for the Wenatchee Panthers on the left side. And her first roll slides outside the pockets, left with 4 remaining. Samantha Hines, meanwhile, still trying to find her rhythm. 8 in her first ball. Well, that's the first time in 5 frames she's done nothing but a 9 in her first ball.
Yeah, she's struggling a little bit, but she's got some spares up there.
And a nice pickup by Hannah Johnson. Those are the sneaky ones that if you don't hit that just right.
It is. It's all about pin coverage, making sure that the ball is flowing towards the pins that you're looking at.
Good cover by Samantha Hines.
Samantha almost open, and that was a wide split because she would have picked that up. Jessica Holbrook throwing a beautiful ball.
Nice bounce back for Jessica after being open in the 5th for Wenatchee. Alicia Hastings trying to maintain Eastmont's lead here as she will roll the final ball.
Another washout.
We've seen a few of those here in this first game.
Yeah, Eastmont's still holding on to that lead, but just barely.
Yeah, this really kind of opens the door here, especially with Kyla working on those 3 strikes in a row. Alicia, maybe she can pick up. I'm sure she's done this before.
Gotta hit
Looks
it
good.
just right.
Oh, went
it
around
danced
it.
around it. Oh, my.
Oh.
Not for a lack of effort for Alicia Hastings there. As we head to the 7th, it's Eastmont 446 and Wenatchee 423. Tight one here in the first game between the Panthers and the Wildcats. Our broadcast brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services online at onewayconstructionnw.com. And how about 4 in a row for Kyla Hankins?
She said, forget the turkey, let's go for the ham bone. At 4 strikes in a row. Looking pretty impressive up on her scoreboard.
Sky Wilson steps up, looking good. Oh, just a tough luck there for Sky.
Sky really trying to force that ball into the pocket, but when you do that and it doesn't want to go, that's what you'll leave.
Kylie.
Little kick out.
Emily Croft, how about that? She'll take that. She's been having some tough luck leaves after finding the pocket a few times here in her game. Able to get the strike here. So how about Wenatchee? Back-to-back strikes here to start the 7th.
And it's all Kyla. It's all Kyla stepping up and bringing it for her team. And they're going to want to follow suit. They're really, really trying to show that they can be a part of the team too.
Sky Wilson gets one of the 2 remaining in her 7th. So she's open after covering 3 frames in a row here for the Eastmont Lady Cats. As Kylie Bauer will now prepare to step in there. Trying to bounce back from a couple of open frames for her in a row after she started strike, cover, strike, and cover for Eastmont.
Looks like a change in the guard here. We're now even in the 7th frame.
Kylie goes Brooklyn, gets it.
Eastmont not giving up.
Nice bounce back there for Kylie Bauer as Jaden Thompson now steps up. 2 strikes in a row for Wenatchee going Brooklyn.
There's a
and
Brooklyn
there's
too.
3 in a row for Wenatchee here in the 7th as they're coming storming back.
See if Eastmont can answer.
Daylin Thomas,
There
right
it is.
there. 2 strikes in a row for Daylin.
Both of these teams just throwing punches.
Yeah, they are. Heavyweight bout here today with the 3 last state championships in a row being held by these 2 schools.
Just a little light.
Little high there for Hannah Johnson. So the string of strikes stops at 3. Samantha Hines, meanwhile, trying to make it 3 strikes in a row for Eastmont.
That's going Brooklyn. Oh, almost.
Almost got it. 9 for Samantha. Hannah Johnson with a very makeable spare attempt here for Wenatchee. In lane 8.
Beautiful.
You betcha. This is a good frame for Wenatchee. 3 strikes and a cover.
And if Sam can get this, that means there's only 11-point difference between the 2 teams.
Started a little wide, came back with the kiss. She got it.
Eastmont's got the hold, but not for very long if Kayla has anything to say about it. Jessica Holbrook.
Oh, boy, right there in the pocket, just no luck. So here we go with a 10-pin attempt at a pickup. Meanwhile, Alicia Hastings working off an open in the 6th. And trying to bounce back here in the 7th.
It's a good ball. Good coverage.
So 3 out of 5 strike here in the 7th for Eastmont. They get a cover and an open. Meanwhile, for Wenatchee, they're trying to make it a cover as well.
Oh, yeah.
Keep everybody clean here in the 7th. She got it. Nice job, Jessica Holbrook. So now as we head to the 8th, Eastmont with a 1-pin lead, 522 to 521.
And it's not over. We still got 3 more frames to go, so don't be thinking that anybody's going to take this one easily.
Kylie Hankins looking for her 5th strike in a row. And that's impressive because you're changing lanes. You get used to one lane.
Oh,
It
no.
came out high and slipped off her hand, and there the string ends. But wow, what a job by Kyla Hankins. She's just got a chance for an interesting spare here, that's all. Sky Wilson 7 in her first ball here in the 8th. But I was talking about changing sides and changing lanes and being able to pick up 4 strikes in a row no matter what lane you're on. That's impressive.
It is. Sometimes you got to throw the ball 2 different ways to get that reaction on 2 different lanes.
Well, and how about, 7 on her final ball. So she's finally open here. First time since the 3rd that she's open. Meanwhile, Sky Wilson trying to pick it up for Eastmont. Can't do it. So both teams open here in the 8th in their first ball.
Eastmont did get a few back because they had that 2 strikes. Well, it was technically 4 strikes in a row, but that 2 more strikes adding on to that 7 count for Kyla, which popped them up about 5 pins over Eastmont.
And a nice strike there for Emily Groff. That's 2 in a row for Emily. She is finally finding the pocket here for Wenatchee. Kaylee Bauer, meanwhile, for Eastmont.
Oh, so close.
Kaylee working off of a strike in the 7th for the Wildcats. This is Jaden Thompson.
It's a good ball. Just a little bit fast.
Kaylee Bauer, a couple of pins remaining.
That's going to go wide.
So Eastmont came in with a 1-pin lead, and they're open through their first 2 bowlers here in the 8th. So big opportunity for Wenatchee. Jaden Thompson got to hit this just right, hit it right on the front pin there in order to pick this one up and have that bowl cover.
Oh,
and
she kind of tripped up a little bit
there. And it's going to miss everything.
Dalen can really answer back here. She's got a double.
7 for Dalen. Dalen's working on 3 strikes and a spare since the 4th for Eastmont.
Still just a handful of pins difference between both teams. Oh,
and beautiful
there's a
strike
nice
there for
strike.
Hannah Johnson. Looked like she might have 1 left over. Dalen Thomas, just missing on her spare attempt. So Eastmont, 3 rollers in a row, open here in the 8th. And that opens the door for Jessica Holbrook and the Wenatchee Panthers. Samantha Hines will be the next up here for Eastmont. I haven't seen either coaches look down the way and see what the JV squads are doing and think about making a change here. They're sticking with the ones who brung them. And so now Samantha Hines working off a couple of spares in the 6th and the 7th, rolls in the 8th.
It's close.
Just a kiss on that head pin, so she's got 2 remaining.
Eastmont's not out of this game yet. They need to regroup for the 9th frame.
Yep.
That is the stepping stone to the 10th. So if they can put it all together in the 9th and 10th, they can just put this 8th frame behind them.
Jessica Holbrook. Strike and a 9 and spare. Last 2 frames found. Beautiful
wow.
Shot in the pocket for Jessica Holbrook. Gives Wenatchee 3 strikes in this frame. And a pickup for Samantha Hines. I thought she had 2 left there, just 1 remaining. And so Samantha says, not so fast, Panthers. But Wenatchee with a little edge here coming from behind in the 8th.
Yeah, if Alicia can put up a strike right here, they would have an even Steven score again. There it is.
You go. How about that?
So as we round the bend into the 9th frame.
Goodness. Yeah, how about 1 pin difference?
A 1 pin difference.
Eastmont with a 6-12 and Wenatchee 6-11 as we head to the 9th.
And Wenatchee does have the advantage coming out of the 8th frame. They've got 3 out of 5 strikes. So they're looking pretty good, but they're not out of the, you can't consider it a win yet.
Kyla Hankins, first ball in the 9th for Wenatchee.
Ooh.
9. Sky Wilson, meanwhile, that's a better looking ball
There
for
you
her.
go.
Look at that pin action. Bounces back from a couple of open frames in a row. The senior puts 10 down in 1 ball. Nice job by Sky Wilson. So here we go. Kyla Hankins with the lone pin remaining.
Nice throw.
There she got it. No problem at all for Kyla Hankins. Kaylee Bauer also with an open in the 8th, trying to bounce back here in the 9th for Eastmont. Gonna go Brooklyn again.
And almost a cover. Almost a cover.
Emily Groff working on back-to-back strikes.
Setting up the 9th frame. Oh,
9 in her first ball. Kaylee Bauer looking for that spare. Got it.
Got it.
Nice roll. Good crowd on here, by the way, on hand for this one. As mostly everybody taking a break for the holidays coming up, as we're taping this for the rebroadcast day before Thanksgiving here at Eastmont Lanes. Appreciate you joining us on the NCW Life channel. Beautiful cover there for Emily Groff. So both teams clear here so far in the 9th. Daylin Thomas in the pocket, 9. Jaden Thompson was open in the 8th. Now she steps up here in the 9th for Wenatchee High School.
Oh,
look
nice
at that.
ball.
Look at that. It's like the pin's just surrendered there.
Oh, just
tough
turned
for
on her
Daylin
just
Thomas.
again.
Leaves it open. You can't get much tighter than this, Paul.
It's really close.
Goodness. Hannah Johnson working off a strike. She has been in solid shape since the 3rd frame. A strike, 9 spare, 6 spare, 8 spare, strike. Samantha Hines will step up first, though, on the left side for Eastmont.
That looks good.
Oh,
there
look
you
at
go.
that. Look at that. An answer. Hannah
Going
Johnson.
Brooklyn.
Oh,
no.
No. 7-10 split.
That's a rough one.
That could be the difference in the match right there.
Could be.
That
could
one ball.
Be. You just got to stay positive. Just get one of them. She was leading with that strike in the 8th, so either one of these is going to be worth an extra an extra point along with the pinfall.
She'll go opposite
Oh,
way.
no. She didn't get either
Through
one.
the goalpost she goes. That's what you're looking for if you're a Husky or a Cougar fan, through the uprights, but not here in bowling.
Alicia
Definitely.
hoping to take this and tie this thing.
Oh, and then she has a split.
And this is a tough one.
Oops. Here comes Jessica Holbrook for Wenatchee. Starts it out wide, comes back in. Look at that. Look at that. Back-to-back strikes for Jessica Holbrook. Alicia Hastings trying to find some magic here. Only gets one of the 3 remaining. And through the 9th, it is Wenatchee taking the lead for the first time, 696 to 684 as we head to the 10th. How about that?
And they've set themselves up really good in the 9th frame. They only had that one open. It was a little split. Eastmont's got their work cut out for them. They're about 12 pins behind.
Look at that hook there for Kyla Hankins. My, oh my.
Here comes Sky.
With the answer. Back and forth. Trading blows. How fun is this?
And that was that's a double now for Sky. She had one in the 9th.
Kyla Hankins, 2nd ball in the 10th.
Uh-oh, little wide. Oh, it
look at
came
that.
back strong.
Again.
Wow.
So now Sky, can she answer?
She's going to try. Oh, just came up a little light.
What a first game. This is incredible. Kyla Hankins going to try to strike out here in the 10th.
If she gets this last strike, that's a 198. Oh, it looks pretty. There it is.
What a way to finish for Kyla Hankins with a 198 in her first game.
Oh,
Sky
almost
Wilson
covered that.
almost was able to get that pickup there. Sky will finish with a 163 for the Eastmont Lady Cats. So here we go. Second bowlers here in the 10th frame. On the right first will be Kaylee Bauer working off a spare in the 9th.
Really needs a good first ball count. Carry it with her team.
There's
that. One.
Look at that. Wenatchee held a 12-pin lead coming into the 10th.
And from here on, it's just going to go back and forth, back and forth.
Absolutely.
Emily Groth. Oh, with a good hit. Leaving that stinging 10-pin.
Kaylee, second ball, 10th frame.
Uh-oh. Oh, miscue on that one.
Yep.
That's okay. She gets one more shot. That should make it. Yes.
Nice pickup there and covered by Emily Groth. She'll get one more ball here in the 10th for Wenatchee.
We're still looking at a 12-pin difference.
So Kaylee Bauer will finish with a
157.
157 for Eastmont. Meanwhile, third ball for Emily Groth.
That's
9 in her
count.
third ball.
So that's a 170.
170 for Wenatchee. Now we go to Daylin Thomas and Jaden Thompson.
Daylin had that open. She's setting up on lane 8. Just needs one really nice ball. Come on. Oh, so close. Here's where you're going to see the jump, though. This is a strike on Jaden in the 9th. She's going to bring it. See if she can capitalize on that strike. It's a good ball. Running just a little bit long on that inside. And that should cover.
Nice pick up there for Daylin Thomas, the sophomore for Eastmont. Trying to help the cause here in the 10th frame. Jaden Thompson, meanwhile, works to do here to pick up this one, the junior for Wenatchee High School. Second ball in the 10th.
Nope. A little wide. Here's a bonus ball for Daylin.
A 140 for Jaden
Nice.
Thomas, and that bonus ball, a big one for Daylin Thomas. With the strike, she's at a 169.
That's huge, huge. We've got 11-point difference, but we do have that double by Jessica, the anchor bowler, so that's going to make some difference when she throws
and a
her ball.
washout for Hannah Johnson. Samantha Hines.
Come on.
Thought that was going to come back and help her out. 9 in her first ball. 1 pin difference on the board right now. 785 to 784. Second ball.
Not
for
quite
Hannah
there.
Johnson.
This
So
is good.
Hannah-
This is interesting.
Hannah open 2 in a row, so she finishes with a 133.
Samantha needs to help out her partner. Oh,
missed
no.
Just missed it.
I think that's going to be the
So
difference in the
Samantha
game right
with
there.
a 151. All comes down to the final bowlers here. Alicia Hastings and Jessica Holbrook.
Jessica should set the pace of this. She's an anchor bowler. She's hoping to bring a strike right to her score here.
Working on 2 strikes in a row.
There it is.
Alicia Hastings.
She needs to answer back. They may not win this game, but she needs to set.
Oh, so close. So close. Yeah, I think
Jessica's going to put the nail in the coffin.
Yep.
On this throw. Just needs to be a nice throw. Nothing elaborate.
Well, how about this?
There you go. There's the win right there.
4 strikes in a row for Jessica Holbrook. Working on a great game here. Alicia Hastings, meanwhile, picks up her spare as we have 1 more ball per in the 10th. Jessica Holbrook looking to strike it out here for the Wenatchee Panthers and give them a Game 1 win.
She punches out in the 10th frame. She's looking at a 2:05 game. Right there.
Good, looking good.
There it is.
How about that for Jessica Holbrook? Breathes a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Alicia Hastings finds the pocket, and she finishes nicely with a strike as well for the Eastmont Wildcats. So a 165 for Alicia Hastings and a 205. So we're at 805 to 846.
Yep.
So 846 for Wenatchee, 805 for Eastmont. So
41 pins.
The Wenatchee Panthers come back in the final 3 frames and take the opener. We're going to take a break and come back with our second game coming up. It's the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats here at Eastmont Lanes. You're watching Big 9 Bowling on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be back right after this.
Guten Samir das Problem sagen.
Meinen Zylinder überschwimmt. Flute, ich habe mein Fugen verloren.
Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragenschlüssel. Hey, you.
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCW Life Channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walnut Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Welcome back once again to Eastmont Lanes, along with Paul Pineville. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life Channel. Our broadcast today brought to you by The Windmill, a time-tested restaurant providing traditional steakhouse meals and a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Open 7 days a week, 4:30 to 9. Call 509-665-9529. Also by Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, servicing all brands, including Trane. Dick's has been serving the Wenatchee Valley since 1982. For more information, give them a call, 884-6444. That's 884-6444. And by BioSports Physical Therapy, providing the best environment, most qualified, experienced therapists in North Central Washington. You have the right to select your healthcare team. Why wouldn't you choose the best? Choose BioSports. Well, Paul, what a game. I mean, Eastmont gets out to a lead early. Never could get much over, 40 pins, I think, difference between the two. Wenatchee just starts reeling them in. We saw that final lead in the 8th. After the 8th, it was just a 1-pin differential. But Wenatchee really took care of business in the 9th and 10th.
They did. They stepped it up. They brought game. They showed that they can keep up with Eastmont. I'm going to probably guess that we're going to see a change in the guard. I think the Eastmont girls are going to see that and catapult forward and have a really successful second game. It's just my prediction. But you better watch out because Jessica Holbrook, she's on fire tonight, and she is not afraid to step it up.
Finished with 5 consecutive strikes. did Jessica, the senior, with a 2:05 in her first game, as the Wenatchee girls are meeting with their head coach Jeff Levitt right now, and they're getting things ready to go. Looks like we're going to have the same lineups for both teams here for the second go-around, as Eastmont will send out senior Sky Wilson, followed by junior Kaylee Bauer, then sophomore Daylin Thomas, followed by a couple of seniors, Samantha Hines and Alicia Hastings. Wenatchee, meanwhile, will start things off with Kyla Hankins, and we can't go without mentioning Kyla in setting the tone for Wenatchee in that first game. She had 4 strikes in a row between the 4th and the 7th. She ends up striking out with a 198. That was a huge difference in that first game.
It's a real relief when you can have your leadoff bowler come out and put up those kind of numbers in the 9th and 10th frame. That's a real relief that lets everybody else on the team just take another second to think about their throws instead of getting up there and saying, I've got to throw perfection. It's just about good timing. It's just about good throws.
Well, the sophomore came through for Wenatchee in that first game. She will roll first again here in the second, followed by senior Emily Groff, junior Jaden Thompson, sophomore Hannah Johnson, and senior anchoring things here today, Jessica Holbrook. We're getting ready for the second. We will take another break and come back. Get you ready for that here on the NCW Life Channels. We bring you Big Nine Bowling. We'll be back with more right after this.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
The Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Just about ready for the second game between Wenatchee and Eastmont here on the NCW Life Channel. I'm Eric Granstrom along with Paul Paiva, and our broadcast brought to you by the Windmill Restaurant of Wenatchee, priding itself on being a local legend for 80 years. The Windmill features slow-roasted prime rib, highest quality hand-cut steaks, and fresh seafood. Homemade dressings and pies are made daily and are the mainstay of this legendary landmark restaurant. The Windmill has a full bar and an excellent selection of beer and wine from which to choose. Call the Windmill today at 665-9529. Also by One Way Construction. Founded in 2000, One Way is a premier custom home builder and construction company in Leavenworth, Cashmere, Chelan, Wenatchee, heck, all of north central Washington. Whether your project requires general contracting, framing, concrete, or consultation services, they want to be part of making your vision a reality. They believe that great communication and customer service plays the most important role of the successful construction project. Find them on the web at onewayconstructionnw.com. Well, I don't know. There's been quite a delay here, Paul, between the first and second games. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, other than maybe had to visit the restroom or something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused too, but it's a different situation here at the beginning of the season. You're laid back. These are all friends, all kids that go to school together, whether it be they see each other after school or see each other before school. They're friends, and being in that nature, you're probably going to see a real chill atmosphere. They're just trying to figure each other out and figure themselves out.
Oh, and also the time frame. Kids are out of school, right, for the holiday.
Absolutely.
And they don't have to ride a bus back from wherever they came from if it was somebody from out of town.
Yeah.
So they've got time. So I guess
they've got time.
We've got the time too. I got no place to go. But 41-pin win for Wenatchee, coming from behind in the first. And you're telling us you have a feeling that we might see a much different game from Eastmont anyway here in the second.
Yeah, I think they're going to regroup. I think their coaches talked to them, told them, hey, you took a loss, no big deal. Now it's time to come bounce back, show them what you're made of. I think not only that, but just in themselves, they know that they can do better, and they're going to show how well they can do.
Well, Alicia Hastings, if you can build from one to the next, her final role in that third ball of the 10th frame in the last game was a strike.
Yep.
So that's a good way to finish and a good way to lead you into the next go-around.
And honestly, Eastmont didn't do that bad in the 10th frame.
Right.
It's just between all the strikes that we had from Kyla and all the strikes we had from Jessica, they just couldn't make up the difference.
Right. And considering 41-pin differential, considering that there was 6 strikes thrown in that 10th frame by Wenatchee alone, building off of a couple of strikes in the 9th, and we talked about Jessica with 5 strikes in a row to finish her game at a 205. The fact that it was just 41 pins shows a lot about what Eastmont was able to do throughout that match.
Absolutely. That's part of a good team dynamic, too, is knowing that you're probably going to take the loss, but that doesn't mean you have to give up.
Right.
You just keep nailing down as much as you possibly can, keeping those frames clean. So here we go with Kyla.
Kyla Hankins, first ball of the second game, and what a way to start. We talked about her setting the pace for Wenatchee, and she came out with 5, make that 8 strikes in her game, and a 198 in the first go-around. But Sky Wilson with the counter, 7 for Sky. And it seemed that when there was openings for either team, it kind of happened in the same frame. It wasn't necessarily across the board for the bowlers. It was just, you talk about one feeding off the next, and unfortunately, if there was openings, it seemed that they got 2 or 3 in that same frame.
Yeah, and that may just come down to the lanes being a little bit more weird than what they're used to. You got a lot of girls playing off the same lines. A lot of them are trying to force the ball when they probably shouldn't be. Given examples of Jessica, she just let the ball do what it was going to do. Maybe that's in the sights for this round, but I would think that you'd be more, it'd be more believable to have a more forceful second game.
Oh, Kaylee Bauer, I don't know.
Coming back. I don't think she fouled.
She didn't foul somehow. I don't know how she did it. But that's also the danger of walking around through the alley with your shoes on.
Yeah,
you never know what you're going to pick up.
Yeah, that's it's always scary. I'll just walk around in my socks, to tell you the honest truth, and before I get my bowling shoe wet.
So Emily Groff, by the way, open with an 8, and now here's 6 for Jaden Thompson. So there was a long enough break here that, I don't know, maybe things cooled off a little bit for both teams.
I have a feeling that's gonna be the case. You take that time for those muscles to cool off, man, it's going to be hard to work them back up to what they were doing before. So.
Yeah, normally, like you were saying, both lineups were the same between the first game and the second game, and usually you just, boom, let's go.
And we know from past experience that when it comes to the Bakers, that those matches are super quick. There isn't much of an exchange. They're running right through, and then they're switching, and they're going again. So this may turn out to be a decisive factor in this game, is that slowdown between the first and second game.
Well, Kaylee Bauer with a nice job of picking up on her spare, 5 and then covering. Jaden Thompson also with a nice spare. And here's Daylin Thomas trying to pick up her lone pin. A little too far.
It was close.
First ball for Hannah Johnson. And a strike for Hannah.
And Wenatchee really not showing any face. They just want to get up there and throw good quality balls.
Samantha Hines, who finished with a 151 in her first game for Eastmont. First ball of the second.
Nice.
Wow, a little high on the headpin, but still got the result she was looking for with a strike for Samantha. She's one, too, that we saw last year and in the past that can just suddenly roll a 220 for you, no problem at all.
Yeah, it just comes down to, what they're feeling at the moment and the lanes themselves. Maybe she just felt a little weird up there the first game, but I have a feeling that she's going to do really well this game.
Jessica Holbrook, who had the big 205 in the first game. Starts with 9 here in her first ball of the second. Alicia Hastings at a 165 in the first.
Alicia's ball starting to move.
Alicia with a strike here in the first.
You know, I noticed in the first game that a lot of good quality shots were from inside the lane where the mid lane is. Now we're starting to see a lot more activity on the outer corners. That's why Alicia had such that great reaction off her ball.
And Jessica Holbrook covers in her first frame here in game 2. And so we emerge with a 1-pin differential between the two. But of course, Eastmont working on a couple of spares, couple of strikes. And that first frame here for the Wildcats is Sky Wilson will step up first along with Kyla Hankins. She'll be on the floor first here for the Wenatchee Panthers.
It's a good ball, good rotation.
Look at that.
And that outside is really starting to move.
Kyla Hankins with back-to-back strikes. Meanwhile, Sky Wilson with the washout.
Kyla's got that double. Setting up her team like she should be as a leadoff bowler.
Emily Groff will wait for Sky to see if she can pick up this washout.
It's going to be close. Not quite there. Pretty close.
So Sky Wilson open here for Eastmont in the second. Emily Groff, who was open in the first.
Oh.
Get a little help. Not happening. Leaves the 10-pin. Kaylee Bauer.
Bringing it inside.
Oh, a little high.
I think that inside is just really tough right now. A lot of action from the outer lanes.
Nice pickup there for Emily Groff.
Kaylee just trying to get 2.
No. Kaylee through the uprights there for Eastmont. Jaden Thompson working off a cover in her first frame here in the second now. And we've seen that a couple of times from her where she...
I think that's timing, honestly, Eric. I think she's just really excited to get up there. You know, both of her teammates before that are doing really good. She wants to throw a really good ball. She wants to be perfect. But that's not what it's about. It's about just going out, throwing a good quality ball.
Well, we saw that from Jaden in the first game where she had a situation like this and then just came back and picked it up.
It's close, but
not quite.
Not quite. Sam should capitalize on this outside area that's really lighting up.
Right in the pocket.
There you go.
Beautiful ball for Samantha Hines. 2 strikes in a row for her. 2 strikes back-to-back for Eastmont here in the second as Daylin Thomas also struck. And now it's Hannah Johnson for Wenatchee. There you go.
There's another one. You start to watch these girls that are playing the outside. They're getting really good coverage right now. The ones on the inside, not so much. Seems like the ball is kind of slipping out a little bit or chugging as it makes its way down to the backside. I hope that Jessica makes that adjustment, but maybe she hasn't seen it yet.
Jessica Holbrook for Wenatchee. Covered in her first frame. Here we go in the second.
She took it out. Let's see if it'll come back. Oh, it did. Just didn't quite get all of them.
Leaves that 10-pin again. Alicia Hastings.
And of course, we all know Alicia plays from the outside, so she should have a really good throw here if she can keep a level head.
Look at that.
Oh, stung. Wow. That's a solid 8.
That just is so frustrating as a recreational bowler when you come and you finally hit the pocket like that and those pins just go flying and then you're left with 1. Nice pickup by Jessica Holbrook there.
But I'm sure Alicia knows why she left that. It's probably one of those ones she leaves a lot because she's got a lot of turn on that ball.
And a nice pickup for Alicia Hastings as we are through the second frame. And as you would expect, close once again. How about 1 pin close? 126 for Eastmont, 125 for Wenatchee. As we head to the third frame here.
Kayla hoping to change that right here because she's got that double, that strike in the first and the second frame.
Day before Thanksgiving, can
she's
we get
playing
another
that
turkey?
outside. Look at that.
How about that? Kayla Hankins has dialed it in here for the Wenatchee Panthers.
Let's see if Sky can follow suit. She took it out.
She did.
But she didn't slow down like she should have. She wants to play that same line. She
Just
sees
needs
those
to come
girls
a
making that
little
move.
bit off the revolutions there.
Yep.
Huh? Emily Groff for Wenatchee.
Playing down and in. Decent cover, decent cover. Sometimes trying to read those lanes can be really, really tough. Let's see if she can make that adjustment.
Nope, started out too far. So an open here for Sky Wilson for Eastmont. Emily Groff going to try to pick up the 3 pins remaining here for Wenatchee. Got it. Our broadcast brought to you by the Alignment Pros and Express Lube. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube, including front and 4-wheel alignment. Online at alignpros.com or at 182 Eastmont Avenue. Here we go with Kaylee Bauer, second up for Eastmont here in the third.
She's playing inside again. Boy, that inside just
not happening.
It's close.
At least a better looking ball that time for Jaden. You can see she's a little frustration on her face right now.
She's a little frustrated. It's all about the timing between her feet and her hands.
Yep.
Something's out of place. Either she's trying to rush the ball or maybe she feels like the ball is going a little too slow, but
Kaylee Bauer
right in between, getting the one
of the two. So Kaylee's open here in the third. Jaden Thompson trying to pick it up.
It's close. Oh.
Daylin Thomas down for Eastmont, working off a strike in the second.
She's going to play it a little bit out, see if it'll come back. Soft hand release on that one. I think she should have followed through just a little bit more and that ball would have turned.
Hannah Johnson looking for her third strike in a row.
There it is.
How about that? Hannah, little gobble gobble for her. Daylin Thomas trying to pick up.
Missed it.
Too much of an angle there for Daylin, so she's open here in the third.
Okay, Samantha's going to step up, see if she can get herself a turkey.
Kind of needs it here for Eastmont after 3 opens to start the frame.
A little light.
Jessica Holbrook, meanwhile, has hit the pocket a couple of times, but has had 1 pin left over her first 2 frames. We'll see how she does here in the third.
Playing inside.
A little high. 2 left over this time. And Samantha Hines trying to pick up her spare and be the first to do so. Can't do it. Ouch.
It's a rough frame for Eastmont.
It is. So what they gained in the second, giving it right back here in the third. And Jessica looking to start from left, come back right here, across the alley, and pick up the 2 remaining pins.
Oh, she got it.
Boy,
I thought she was going to chop it.
Jessica with a nice cover here. Here's Alicia Hastings.
Alicia.
Hit the pocket, gonna get the roll.
Not
quite.
quite.
A little nudge, but not quite. Great job hitting the pocket there for Alicia. Had that little action with the forearm afterwards. Trying to get a little English there. And no, she misses here. So Eastmont completely open in the third. That hurts.
That's not good.
Wenatchee takes the lead, 228 to 201. Again, Wenatchee taking the first game here today. Both teams having a little reconnoiter with their coaches right now. After Wenatchee came from behind to beat Eastmont by 41 pins in the first game, 846 to 805. Our broadcast today brought to you by Automoca. What's your Automoca emergency? Visit one of their 6 locations in the valley, including the only Automoca with inside seating on 5th Street across from Wenatchee Valley College. Also by Color Effects, offering screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, and logo design for your team, school, business, or church at a fair price. Locally owned for over 20 years, call Color Effects at 509-741-7609. So here we go to start the 4th. Kyla Hankins looking for her 4th consecutive strike. So smooth on that release.
Oh, that was a good ball, too. Sky Wilson with the power play.
And she knocks them all down, so a nice recovery here for Eastmont. They could get it rolling with maybe all strikes in this 4th frame. That would certainly right the ship a lot after being completely open in the 3rd. Long way to go, though, in this one, so you never know what could happen. Kyla, meanwhile, for the first time here in this 2nd game, having to throw 2 balls in a frame.
And she
missed it. Oh, goodness. So she's open in the 4th, opening the door for Eastmont on the comeback.
There's a nice inside shot.
Kaylee Bauer with the strike. Eastmont with the answer.
Looks like the regroup kind of helped a little bit for Eastmont.
Emily Groff, meanwhile, for Wenatchee. Finds the pocket.
There's another one.
Emily with a strike after a couple of covers in the 2nd and 3rd. Daylin Thomas
keeping
like
it
the ball
inside.
Stuck a little bit for her. So the string of strikes ends at 2 here in the 4th frame for Eastmont, but Daylin with a certainly coverable remaining there. Meanwhile, it is Jaden Thompson with 9. Much better release, much better approach that time around, and a nice cover for Daylin Thomas. Ain't nothing but a thin for Daylin. One more pin to pick up for Jaden Thompson. Jaden looking back for some help from her teammates here. And she looks like she's just kind of perplexed about what's happening with, I think she's maybe thinking the lane is the issue. And you were talking about timing. It's a little bit of everything probably getting into the head spin here.
You know, and it's really hard to figure out what you're doing wrong when you're just completely disbogulated over, you know, what you're doing. So,
Little oh, how about that? Bounce for Samantha Hines. Looked like she was maybe going to get a strike or a split. Ends up with a strike.
And here comes Eastmont charging back.
Hannah Johnson.
A little bit high.
Oh, with the split. After 3 strikes in a row for Hannah Johnson. So the turkey becomes soup here for Hannah.
Unless she can pick this up, and then she'll be happy.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So you got to kiss the left pin.
Basically, you just got to pretend you're shooting at a 7-pin. Just get that ball over there. Take out that 7.
Ooh. Nice attempt for Hannah Johnson. She's open here in the 4th. So a couple of, make that 3 out of 4 bowlers here open in the 4th for Wenatchee after we saw all 5 bowlers open for Eastmont in the 3rd.
See if Jessica can make that adjustment and get a strike. She hasn't had one yet this game.
Alicia Hastings, we're waiting on her. Well, she's going to wait
Taking
first
it out.
And let Jessica Holbrook find 7 in her first ball here in the 4th.
Alicia's so close the last couple of times that she's thrown the ball. So I think she's just going to stick with what works, see what she gets.
There it is.
Oh, another single.
Everything there but that 10-pin.
Yep.
Jessica Holbrook trying to cover for the 4th consecutive frame for Wenatchee. Oh, my. So Wenatchee opening the door a crack here for Eastmont. Quite a bit of a crack, in fact. And then a nice cover for Alicia Hastings. So Eastmont clean in the fourth. As we head to the fifth, it is a 323 to 251 advantage for Wenatchee. But again, Eastmont working off of 3 strikes and a couple of covers.
Yeah, it's not over yet. There's about a 72 pin difference here between the two teams, but a lot of advantage going on for Eastmont.
Wenatchee's Kyla Hankins, oh my. Sky Wilson, meanwhile, going Brooklyn. Almost. I thought that pin was going to slide over and knock them both down. She gets 9. Kyla, a difficult but not impossible pickup opportunity here on this split.
Should be pretty close. Oh, she just missed it.
So Kyla's open for the second frame in a row. Meanwhile, Sky.
Oh, misses hers.
Goodness.
Eastmont really needs to take advantage of the fact that all of a sudden the Wenatchee girls are struggling. Emily's the only one who didn't struggle last frame.
And
she puts a double up, holding up her team so they can make those changes they need to make.
Kylie Bauer with a strike in her last frame. Steps up for the Wildcats.
Taking the outside, she's really deep though. Oh!
Dominoes. And we got a new bowler here for Wenatchee. Gonna need some help on who the new bowler is.
Holly Shipley.
Okay.
Looks like Holly is taking over for Jaden.
Yep. Meanwhile, Kaylee Bauer with a pickup. For
Not an easy
Eastmont.
split either. Let's see. Oh, she got it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you step in for Jaden Thompson, you get that tough ball, and then pick it up. That'll pick up your team, too.
Oh, yes.
Nice job by Holly Shipley for Wenatchee. Meanwhile, here comes Daylin Thomas working off a cover.
And she's playing the outside where she should be.
Came a little bit high, though.
A little bit high.
Left with that split.
There goes a Brooklyn shot. Almost. Leaving 2.
Already halfway through our second game here, just about halfway point.
She's leading it out where it should be.
She picks up 2 of the 3. Nice job by Daylin Thomas. Hannah Johnson, meanwhile, going to step up, try to pick up her spare here for the Wenatchee Panthers. And she does.
Got it.
Beautiful job by Hannah Johnson for Wenatchee. Samantha Hines now working off a strike.
Oh, another one of those splits. Man, those are the tough ones.
The lanes can change that much. I mean, it just seemed like they had them all dialed in, and then suddenly, whoop, there it goes. Gone.
It's hard to tell.
But also this game, I mean, you miss your delivery of releasing that ball by half a board, and that's going to make such a huge difference down at the other end.
Oh, yeah.
9 for Jessica Holbrook in her first roll here in the 5th frame. Meanwhile, Samantha Hines going to have nerves of steel here to pick up these 2 remaining pins for the Eastmont Wildcats.
This is a really precision shot here. Just got to send it right down there between those 2 pins.
Got one of the 2 did Samantha. So Eastmont with 3 open frames here in the 5th. 1 more to go for Alicia Hastings. Meanwhile, Jessica Holbrook trying to pick up her 1 remaining pin. Got it.
Gets it.
So a nice job of a bounce back here for Wenatchee in the 5th. As Jeff Levitt, their head coach, decides to bring Holly Shipley in for Jaden Thompson, who was just getting frustrated out there for the Panthers. Alicia Hastings, meanwhile, going to wrap it up here for Eastmont in the 5th frame. Wenatchee expanding their lead a tad here.
Alicia can get 20 back if she throws a strike. There you go.
Does. Nice job by Alicia Hastings. And as we are through 5 frames, the differential right now, 381 for Wenatchee, 343 for Eastmont. It's about the differential we had the other way around in our last game when we got to the midway point.
Yeah, about there.
And it was Wenatchee that reeled Eastmont in. Let's see if Eastmont can reel Wenatchee in this time around. As we head to the 6th, Kyla Hankins, the sophomore, lead bowler for Wenatchee.
Still playing that outside, but she's about 3 boards too far outside.
Sky Wilson, see if she slows her approach a little bit.
Nope. She's just going to bring it.
And she leaves 4 behind after her first ball, but certainly pick up a bowl, as they say. Kyla Hankins down. Got to hit this one just right. Oh, no.
Wow.
Left the trailing pin there. So Kyla with an open frame here in the 6th.
Sky's got to see this opportunity and sees it, but she's going to miss way left also.
So a couple of opens here in the 6th.
Emily Groth with the double. Going to make it, no, a 9 count.
Emily was open in the first since she had 9 spare, 7 spare, and 2 strikes. Here comes Kaylee Bauer.
Oh, good ball. Just came up a little high. There we go. Nice pickup.
Cover for Emily for the Wenatchee Panthers. Kaylee Bauer got her spare as well. So back and forth we go between these two. And again, here is Holly Shipley. Replacement for Wenatchee. And how about that? With a strike in her second roll for the Panthers since coming in for Jaden Thompson. And
look at that. That's a beautiful ball, too.
Answer for Daylin Thomas with her second strike here in the second game. Back and forth we go between the two. As next up will be Hannah Johnson.
Should be high. Oh, it covers, though.
Hannah Johnson with her 4th strike in this second game. Samantha Hines. Can she answer? Well, that ball just hung up outside there. 7 in her first ball for Samantha Hines. Jessica Holbrook. See if she goes. She's going to let Samantha probably finish up her lane here. Nope. Jessica's going to roll. Jessica working off of a cover on a 9 spare in the 5th.
Oof. Still a little high in the pocket when she brings the ball back. That should cover.
Nice cover there for Samantha Hines for Eastmont. Jessica with 2 out. Wings to the west, and she got him. Nice roll there for Jessica Holbrook for Wenatchee. So Alicia Hastings working off of a strike. Her second of this game. See if she could find the pocket again here for Eastmont. Looking good.
Pretty close. Yeah, she got the fall.
Boy, Eastmont really needed that one. As we are through 6 frames now, the differential is 477 for Wenatchee, 409 for Eastmont. Our broadcast here on the NCW Life Channel brought to you in part by Global Car Care, a quality auto repair facility with highly trained technicians celebrating 25 years in the car care business. They speak your car's language at 1840 North Wenatchee Avenue. Kyla Hankins was open in her last frame. Oh, that looked like a pretty ball, but we've seen, especially on that left side, that seventh frame, or the 7th lane here, we've seen that 10 pin seem to stick quite a bit. Sky Wilson.
A little far outside. But she gets a good count, 7 count.
Well, you can see that she's obviously trying to make those adjustments.
Oh, yeah. Trying to figure out what works.
Kyla, meanwhile, trying to pick up the 10-pin. Looking good. Nice cover.
Oh, yeah.
Sky Wilson. Good looking release.
Oh,
didn't get
just
the bounce.
Didn't quite get it.
Well, the difference between these two games so far really seems to be that leadoff bowler.
Oh,
Kyla
yeah.
Hankins really making such a difference here for Wenatchee.
Oh, little shake, little shake.
Tips won't go. Emily, hips, hands to her hips. Meanwhile, here comes Kaylee Bauer.
Brooklyn leaving 5 also. Bunch of cookie pins going on.
It's funny how often we see that where both lanes have the same exact leave. Emily Groff trying to pick up her spare. Gonna have to come.
Oh.
It did. Kaylee, let's see if she says anything you can do, I can do also. Concentrating heavily. And the approach. Started it out right, coming back, got it.
Yeah. Holly Shipley.
Shipley doesn't wait around. She's like, I'm going, and that's a 9. Thank you very much. Matching what her teammates have also done here in this 7th frame for the Wenatchee Panthers. Daylin Thomas working on a strike for Eastmont.
Oh, is she going to get another one? Yes, she
does. How about that? And a nice pickup for Holly Shipley. She doesn't wait around at all. She says, I got my ball, I'm going. And she has come in and delivered 2 spares and a strike for Wenatchee. Daylin Thomas, 2 strikes in a row for Eastmont. Samantha Hines working off of a spare. Now will step up in the 7th for Eastmont.
Playing the outside. Came across Brooklyn, but that's okay. She leaves a single count.
Good looking ball here for Hannah Johnson. Ooh, came high and
makes it worse.
Goodness. Split for Hannah Johnson. Samantha, meanwhile, trying to pick up her spare. Got it.
Gets it.
So Samantha helping to keep Eastmont right in the hunt here. Hannah Johnson facing what looks to be probably an open frame, but stranger things have happened.
It's a tough one. She knows where to put it.
Oh, just a little bit too
there.
far out to the right, so she's open here in the 7th. Snaps a string of 7 covers in a row where Wenatchee was clean. Bowler for bowler. Now Jessica Holbrook will step up on lane 7 for Wenatchee, working off a spare in the 6th as well as the 5th.
Inside. Nice roll.
There it is. There it is. Jessica Holbrook with her first strike here in game 2.
See if Alicia can pull that turkey.
Boom.
There she is.
Alicia Hastings wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble with that turkey there. And, yeah. What? 56 pin differential as we head to the 8th with Wenatchee leading at 562 to 505.
Don't count Eastmont out yet. They still got Alicia with that triple, and Daylin has 2 strikes. Oh, there's a nice ball.
Beautiful start for Wenatchee for Kyla Hankins. Sky Wilson.
Going Brooklyn. I think it was right about here, maybe even one more frame where Wenatchee pulled ahead last game.
Yeah,
Let's see if
Eastmont had a
somebody will step
1-pin.
up.
Yeah, Eastmont had a 1-pin lead after the 8th. And then Wenatchee emerged from the 9th with a 12-pin lead.
Hang on. Oh.
Emily Groff here for Wenatchee. Gonna go Brooklyn. 1 remaining for Emily. Kaylee Bauer, after kind of a slow start, has done well for Eastmont with a strike, 9 spare, 8 spare, 9 spare. Here she goes in the 8th frame. Started out way wide. Oh,
yeah.
and a washout remaining.
Looks like she was a little excited on that one.
Emily Groff trying to pick up her spare for Wenatchee.
Uh-oh.
She started
Oh,
it
no.
off, and it stays away, and she's open. Boy, if Kaylee Bauer can pick this up, it would be a huge momentum shift, if nothing else, for Eastmont.
She's going to get 3 of them.
Holly Shipley.
Another kind of a washout.
It's really the first miss hit she's had since she's come in here in replacement.
Daylin with that double so far, trying to make it 3. Oh, close. With an 8 count. This is a tough one.
Well, about pin count, she picked up 3 of the 4 remaining there for the Wenatchee Panthers. So Holly Shipley open for the first time since she's come in the 5th. Daylin Thomas going to try to bring it all the way across.
Oh, almost.
So she's open. Here comes Hannah Johnson with her roll. 8 in her first ball. She was open in the 7th. Trying to cover here in the 8th. Meanwhile, Samantha Hines working off a spare. Back-to-back in the 6th and the 7th.
That's going to go Brooklyn. Leaving a single 6-pin.
Hannah Johnson picks it up for Wenatchee. Samantha misses as well. So Eastmont open all the way through here in the 8th. So you thought maybe this would be the chance for Eastmont to come storming back here, but unfortunately not the case here for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, Jessica Holbrook going to try to put a stamp on things here, working off of a strike in the 7th. Jessica, her first ball in the 8th. Starts it out right, comes back left.
Oh.
9 for Jessica. Alicia Hastings trying to get her 4th strike in a row, meanwhile for Eastmont.
And maybe fire up her team if she'll throw another one.
She's clean but the 3rd here in this game.
Puts in the same spot the last
Boom.
3 times.
How about Alicia Hastings finding the pocket again? Pins explode in all directions, and she gets her 4th strike in a row. Jessica Holbrook, meanwhile, trying to get all the way across to pick up that final pin here for Wenatchee, looking good, and covers. So as we head to the 9th frame, 6:45 for Wenatchee to 6:04 for Eastmont.
Wenatchee's got about 44 pins on them, 41 pins, 41 pins, but you can't count Eastmont out yet. Alicia's tacking on 30 with every single throw the last 4 frames.
Good looking ball to start things off here in the 9th for Kyla Hankins. 2 strikes in a row for Kyla. Sky Wilson, can she answer? How about that? Demonstrative strike for Sky. The senior comes through here for Eastmont. Emily Groff now, senior for Wenatchee, trying to bounce back after an open frame in the 8th. Good release. Looking Brooklyn, she does it. Kaylee Brown, meanwhile, we're going to get nothing but strikes here in the 9th.
Oh, yes, we are. They know what frame it is.
Kaylee Bauer setting herself up for the 10th with a strike here in the 9th. And this is Holly Shipley.
There's
in the
one,
pocket.
too.
Wow, how about that? Back-to-back strikes here in the 9th. Daylin Thomas. See if she can find the pocket as well.
Get in there, ball.
Keep coming.
Oh, almost.
9. Hannah Johnson, after being opened in the 7th, covered in the 8th on a spare. Here she goes in the 9th.
There you go. There's another one.
Wow. Wenatchee trying to just shut the door right now here in the 9th inning, and an open for Daylin Thomas.
Wow, Wenatchee's 9th frame is
just
looking pretty dangerous right now.
Absolutely. Samantha Hines for Eastmont. Gonna have to go Brooklyn side. No, stayed a little high. Got 8. Jessica Holbrook is going to wait for.
Yeah, I think she's feeling
Samantha.
the pressure of the rest of her team stepping up. She's got to do the same.
And Samantha, that's going to be a little high too. So another open here for Eastmont. And this one pretty much in the books for Wenatchee. What a 9th frame it has been. Jessica Holbrook going to try to follow suit and strike out the 9th for Wenatchee. Good release. Here it comes.
There it is.
Wow. Jessica Holbrook caps off 5 strikes in a row for Wenatchee here in the 9th frame. Alicia Hastings.
Still covering.
And how about Alicia Hastings? Individually on fire for Eastmont. 5 strikes in a row for Alicia. As we head to the 10th, it is Wenatchee expanding its lead here, 725 to 671. Again, it'll be Kyla Hankins to start things off in the 10th. Remind you, in the first game today, she struck out all 3 balls in the 10th for Wenatchee.
A little bit wide. Not leaving that washout, but she's got a group of pins there.
Meanwhile, Sky Wilson going Brooklyn. Can't quite get them all, but she got most of them. 9 pins for Sky here in the 10th. Kyla Hankins. Good looking ball.
Oh, yeah.
Cover. Nice job for Kyla. Sky Wilson trying to cover here in the 10th for Eastmont. No.
Oh, just misses it.
Tough luck for Sky Wilson. She will finish with a 114 for Eastmont. Meanwhile, Kyla Hankins working on a 179 right now with 1 ball to come. She's going to let Kaylee Bauer go first here on her first ball in the 10th. Working off a strike in the 9th.
Is that going to hold? No.
6. Kyla with her final ball here in the 10th. Ooh, nudged it. 9 though for Kyla Hankins. And so she'll finish with a 188 following her 198 in game 1. Nice day for Kyla Hankins. Kaylee Bauer tried to pick up her spare. Started it way wide. It stayed wide, and she gets 3. And so Kaylee Bauer with a 141 for Eastmont.
And Wenatchee's team is just capitalizing on the 9th frame here.
Yep. Everybody working off of a strike from the 9th. Emily Groff trying to go Brooklyn.
Count. Daylin, oh, almost with the strike.
9 for Daylin. Emily Groff. Started it out wide.
Oh, it didn't come back.
Tucked just behind it, so she'll finish up with a 169 here for the Wenatchee Panthers. Meanwhile, Dalen Thomas is open for her second ball of the ninth. She'll finish with a 133. And Holly Shipley
just going right to work.
Starts it out wide. 7 in her first ball here in the 10th. After she came in, wow, what a spark plug she was. 8 spare, strike, 9 spare, 6, and then 3. So she was open in the 8th and then struck in the 9th. And now working here in the 10th for Wenatchee.
And a good move by the coach. Jaden was struggling. You bring in somebody who's probably not struggling as much on the other lanes, made the switch. I think overall it was a good switch to make. Really helped out the team.
So 124 between the two, Jaden Thompson and Holly Shipley. And Samantha Heinz now will go in the 9th or in the 10th here for Eastmont. She was open in the 9th.
She's looking for a good ball.
That's a much better looking ball there from Samantha Heinz. Her first strike since back in the 4th frame. And meanwhile, finding the pocket is Hannah Johnson, 9 for Hannah.
And Hannah's going to have a good game. She's got 180 right now, plus the spare. Plus, if she gets the spare, then she'll get an extra couple of pins on her third ball.
Samantha Heinz trying to finish strong here for Eastmont. Gonna have to go Brooklyn. Got 9.
Not quite a cover. Hang on ball. There we go.
Nice job by Hannah Johnson to cover.
Hannah looking at possibly 192 if she can throw a strike on lane 8.
Nice cover there for Samantha Heinz. And she'll
Looks like
finish
a 190 for Hannah.
Hannah Johnson with a 190. She gets 8 in her final roll.
So we got a difference of 84 pins for Wenatchee going into the final 2 anchor bowlers. Don't forget, Alicia's got that
5 strikes in a row,
but she can only make up 60. So Wenatchee's going to win this game as long as Jessica keeps the ball on the lane.
And the way she's been bowling, I don't think you have to worry about that.
Nope.
Even though it
but
is
that's
a
enough right there.
Splits.
That's a seal. Seal the deal right there. So no matter what Alicia does here, Wenatchee's going to take the win. Doesn't mean she can't. Oh, try to punch out.
Obviously, Alicia going to have our best game of the day here so far between these two teams. She got one of the 2, did Jessica Holbrook. So Jessica will finish with a 167. And that gives Wenatchee an 838 total. Alicia covers nicely, so she'll get one more ball here in the 10th. She's already at 217.
Yep.
We had Jessica Holbrook with a 205 in the first game for Wenatchee, as the Panthers won that one by 41 points, 846 to 805. And as we get to the Bakers, all about pin count to determine the winner here today. 7 for Alicia, so that's a 224 for Alicia Hastings, 772 for Eastmont. So we'll take a break and get you ready for the Bakers coming up. That's exciting and fast-paced bowling. Don't go away. You're watching Big Nine Bowling today on the NCW Life Channel. We're back after this.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Welcome back to Eastmont Lanes. Our broadcast brought to you in part by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consultation services. Online at onewayconstructionnw.com. And the Windmill Restaurant, a time-tested tradition providing steakhouse meals at a homey, old-fashioned dining rooms. Open 7 days a week, 4:30 to 9. Call 509-665-9529. Before the girls get out there, Paul Paiva, tell us what a baker is.
So the Baker format was set up in the 1950s by Frank Baker. He was then the executive secretary-treasurer of the ABC, which is the American Bowling Congress. And he was looking for a way that the bowlers could switch in each frame so it might be more appealing to the spectators. So what we have this afternoon is 5 girls against 5 girls on a team. And each girl is going to pick and they're going to pick an order, and those girls are going to go in order. So whoever leads off is going to bowl the first frame and the 5th frame, and so on down the line. So your anchor bowler will bowl the 5th frame, or first bowler bowl the 1st frame and the 6th frame. The anchor bowler bowl the 5th frame and the 10th frame.
Gotcha. Okay, so you try to line that up to get your best bowler rolling, have the chance to roll a little more time. Now, between the two first games, we've got a 107-pin differential with Wenatchee is 1684 to Eastmont 1577, if I did the math right there. Mm-hmm. In a Baker format, can you make up 107 pins over 2 games?
You could make up that many in one. If the team gets on pace and they're all firing on all cylinders, they could easily shoot a 250, a 240, a 230. The other team could struggle the whole way. Absolutely, you could make up that difference.
Well, this will be interesting to watch. And a little shakeup in the lineup here for the Eastmont Wildcats. They're going to have Brittany Hastings come over from the JV squad. We just saw her throw, a 210, something like that over there. So Brittany's going to come over, and she will lead off. Meanwhile, the same leadoff for Wenatchee, Kyla Hankins, who's up on lane 8 right now to start our Baker format. And her first ball down the lane is an 8. And as Paul mentioned, this goes really quickly here. And, well, that looks like Daylin Thomas who's starting it off.
That is Daylin that's starting off.
And she gets 9. So not sure what happened with that.
Making a little switch right before the beginning of the match.
Okay, so Daylin will lead off here for Eastmont. Meanwhile, second ball for Kyla Hankins. Nice pickup here for Kyla. So we'll kind of float with it here as far as Eastmont's lineup is concerned. The second ball for Daylin Thomas. Oh, it's open. Meanwhile, Holly Shipley is going second here for Wenatchee as she came in as a replacement midway through game 2 and was a real big spark in that win for Wenatchee. Holly was 6 in her opening ball. We're going to go ahead and let her take her second and try to pick up this spare. And she just wastes no time at all. She's just going.
Yep. She's like, that's my lane. I'm going to use it.
And she picks up 2 of her remaining 4. So that is open. And this is Kaylee Bauer, I believe, for Eastmont. Yep. Yes.
Inside line, holding well.
Beautiful.
It's a good shot.
Kaylee Bauer in the second frame. Keep them straight here. There we go.
Emily Groth is going to step up for Wenatchee in the 3rd frame. Little inside.
Ooh, that's tough leave there for Emily. Meanwhile, we thought Daylin Thomas was going to be the 3rd bowler for Eastmont, but it looks like that will be Brittany Hastings.
Coming off a stellar game over there on the junior squad.
Yeah,
she's got something to prove.
I kept hearing this cannon going off down the lane here, and
oh, nice ball.
Picks up 9 in her first roll as she is the 3rd frame bowler for Eastmont. And I kept looking down there and thinking, my goodness, somebody's racking those pins around on the JV side, and that is Brittany. Meanwhile,
almost
for Emily Groff. She gets 2 of those remaining 3, so open for Wenatchee. And
nailing it.
Beautiful ball for Brittany Hastings, so she comes through with a spare. 39-33, Eastmont by 6.
Hannah Johnson on leading, leaving a 7 count.
We're in the 4th frame here. Samantha Hines, meanwhile, will go for Eastmont. Looking good.
Come on.
Goodness.
Oh,
that's a tough ball there. Hannah Johnson, meanwhile, as Wenatchee came in with a 107-pin lead heading into the first. Baker, and a nice cover there for Hannah Johnson. Samantha, one more ball here. Tough pickup for Samantha.
She's not going to get that. She's got to go to the other side of that 5-pin.
So Eastmont open here in the 4th. To the 5th we go. Jessica Holbrook with her first ball.
Taking it out, bringing it back in.
Look at that for Jessica Holbrook. Panthers.
Hastings staying right there. Oh,
goodness.
Solid 9. I think she slowed that one down a little bit.
She did.
Kyla Hankins over on lane 8. She's going to shoot her 2nd frame. That's the 6th. Oh, just a little high.
So 8 for Kyla. Meanwhile, Alicia trying to pick up her spare here for Eastmont.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a 79-66 differential, 71-66 if you go just through the 6th. Not counting what Kyla has put up here, and she gets a spare. Nice cover by Kyla Hankins. Meanwhile, to the 6th we go for Eastmont, and it will be Daylin Thomas who is opening things up here for the Wildcats.
She's going to go Brooklyn. Almost covered. Holly Shipley wasting no time, getting right out there.
Ooh, a washout here for Holly Shipley. Meanwhile, Daylin with the pressure here to pick this one up, and
looks like she's got it.
She got it. Ten-pin differential right now with Holly Shipley looking at the washout for Wenatchee.
It's going to go wide. Only get one.
We got one of the 4 remaining, so a chance for Eastmont to gain some ground. Kaylee Bauer.
Throwing a good ball.
Look at that. Kaylee Bauer. She stepped up twice. She has struck twice for Eastmont. Emily Groff now for the Panthers.
Little high, little Brooklyn. Oh, and you can't believe it. Fell over and stood back up.
Oh, goodness.
Can we get a replay on that?
Oh, my goodness. 9 for Emily Groff. That scooted over. Looked like it was going to go. It does not. Brittany Johnson, meanwhile, who's been pulled up from the JV squad to help out the varsity here. Brittany Hastings with a 9 and a spare in the 3rd. There she goes with her first.
Just bringing that power.
Looking good.
Oh, beautiful.
How about that?
Made that slight adjustment. See, that's the tough part about Baker is you only get 2 spare, or you only get 2 frames to work in, so you've got to make those quick adjustments.
And a nice spare there for Emily Groff.
And here comes Eastmont. They can really capitalize on this double they've got going on. They've got a 20-pin advantage right now.
Eastmont has moved up, 125 to 106 right now.
Come on.
And Brooklyn side for Samantha, so she'll have a work to do there.
Hannah Johnson.
Hannah Johnson, meanwhile,
almost
9. This is going to come right down to the final bowler here, too. Samantha Hines, all important pickup here for Eastmont. Trying to gain some ground.
Nice coverage.
Wow.
That is a really hard one to pick up right there.
Meanwhile, Hannah Johnson missed it. She missed it, so that leaves it open. So Eastmont with a 152 to 124 advantage. Again, they came in trailing by 107 pins.
Looks like they're going to take the win for this game and kind of even up that series.
Oh,
there you go.
Got a little help there, did Alicia Hastings. 7 in her first ball here in the 10th of this first Baker. Jessica Holbrook, meanwhile, for Wenatchee, got a strike in the 5th. See what she can do here in the 10th for the Panthers. Good release, good ball, strike.
Nice strike. Alicia just needs to get this spare and throw one more nice ball. Oh, just barely.
Just enough. Just enough. Jessica Holbrook, meanwhile, going to try to answer here for Wenatchee. Wenatchee won the first 2 games. This is the first Baker of 2. A little high
7
there.
count.
7. Meanwhile, Alicia Hastings with her final ball for the Eastmont Wildcats.
There you
Look
go.
at that. So the Wildcats with a 179. So that gives them a pin count of 1756. And, oh, Jessica can only get 2. So 143 for Wenatchee. 7, 12, 7, 8, 1827 to 1756 at 71 pin differential as we head into the final Baker.
Chipping it away a little bit, but they really got to step it up for this last one if they want to win the series, or Eastmont wants to win the series.
So as you keep track of game wins here, you've got a 2-1 advantage right now with Wenatchee winning the first 2 games, Eastmont winning the second or the first Baker as we get ready for the second Baker between Wenatchee and Eastmont. We'll have that right after this on the NCW Live channel.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Our broadcast of Big 9 Bowling here today on the NCW Live channel brought to you by Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, serving all brands including Trane. Dick's has been serving the Wenatchee Valley since 1982. Call 509-884-6444 for more information. As we go to the second Baker here, just a 71 pin differential between Eastmont and Wenatchee here today. Wenatchee winning the first 2 games, Eastmont winning the first Baker, 179 to 143. So Jaden Thompson will move back over to the varsity side to help out on the Baker for the second for Wenatchee. And the first roll for Kyla Hankins is a strike.
She has just been on it all day today.
She really has, really has. Brittany Hastings, meanwhile, excuse me, not Brittany Hastings. Daylin Thomas. There we go. That was that switcheroo that they pulled on us.
Starting off with a 7 count.
So Daylin Thomas with 7. And here comes Jaden. How about that? Jaden Thompson.
Looks like she just needed a breather.
She just did. So she'll strike for Wenatchee in the second. And a nice
comes
pickup
back with a spare.
for Daylin.
Wenatchee starting off with 2 strikes in a row. They really, really don't want to give up this little lead they've got going.
Second frame for Kylie Bauer.
Oh, so
9.
close. Emily Gross stepping up on the lane 7. Good ball. It's going to stay.
Look at that. Strike, strike, strike for Wenatchee. Being rather emphatic about that 71-pin lead and hanging on to it here. Kaylee Bauer, meanwhile, with her second ball, and she picks up her spare. Nice job for Kaylee.
Wenatchee's in the hot seat right now, just kind of cruising along. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Hannah Johnson, that one stayed a little high and a washout for Hannah. Meanwhile, this is Brittany Hastings. Boy, did she come through with a big ball in her second. As she struck last time, now she's starting out way wide. And that's, you know, disadvantage for her because she hasn't been able to throw on these lanes at all. They bring her in for the Baker.
Yep. And she's had 3 throws so far.
And a nice pickup for Hannah Johnson. How about that?
Getting that washout.
Yeah, very difficult pickup. She gets it, though. Meanwhile, Brittany Hastings trying to pick up the final 2 here. Going right at it. No problem for Brittany. Jessica Holbrook here in the 5th for Wenatchee.
Both teams keeping it clean so far.
Oh, speak. And ye shall be heard. Meanwhile, for Eastmont, how about that strike by Samantha? So just as a little gap in the door opens on the split here by Jessica Holbrook, Samantha steps up and strikes for Eastmont. Jessica trying to get as many as she can.
Not going to get 3.
She'll get 1. Goodness. Meanwhile, Alicia Hastings will step up to finish up the 5th here in the second Baker. Going oh, not quite Brooklyn, stayed high. And so an 8 for Alicia Hastings in her first ball here in the 5th. Our score right now, 101-83, with Alicia still with a ball to come here.
And you would think they'd be farther behind with all those strikes that Wenatchee had, but they're staying clean over there. They're throwing good quality shots.
And how about another strike for Kyla Hankins?
Stay on. Oh, an open there.
Alicia got 1 of the 2, but an open for the Eastmont Wildcats. So they're 85 pins to 101 for Wenatchee through 5, as the Panthers have already rolled here in the 6th. And in the 7th, here comes Jaden Thompson.
Oh, wow.
How about Jaden Thompson stepping up big time? Brooklyn attempt here for Daylin Thomas, 8. Right now, things looking really good for Wenatchee to win this today and knock off Eastmont in the first go-around between these two teams. They'll meet again coming up in January, and a lot of bowling left to be done here in the Big 9 schedule, that's for sure. Daylin Thomas in her 6th for Eastmont.
Going for that baby split. She
nice
gets it.
job of picking that up for Daylin Thomas. So Eastmont not relinquishing the crown just yet. As Kaylee Bauer will await as Emily Groth will go here in the 8th.
Oh, got it.
Look at that. The 3 top bowlers for Wenatchee striking in each of their 2 frames here in the Baker. 9 for Kaylee Bauer. Hannah Johnson now trying to strike while the moment is hot. Her first ball.
Good ball. Good release.
And wow.
She didn't try to force that one. She let the ball do the work.
Kaylee Bauer trying to pick things up here for Eastmont. Oh, that ball just had a little extra spin to it and spun right out of there. So definitely going to be a win here for Wenatchee. 191 to 113. Of course, they're about 2 frames ahead of Eastmont right now, as we're waiting on Brittany Hastings for the Wildcats. Brittany will step up.
Leaving a 7 count.
Our broadcast today also brought to you by Biosports Physical Therapy, providing the best environment, most qualified experienced therapists in North Central Washington. You have the right to select your healthcare team. Why wouldn't you choose the best? Choose Biosports.
Jessica Holbrook up in the 10th frame.
Well, that string of strikes ends at 4 in a row. 6 in the first ball for Jessica Holbrook. Meanwhile, it is a spare attempt for Brittany Hastings. Started out way wide and leaves it open.
Wenatchee's going to finish with a nice 200 game, cap off the night. Nice finish.
Spare. Beautiful, beautiful by Jessica Holbrook. Samantha Hines now for Eastmont.
Oh,
and
yeah.
a strike. Nice job by Samantha. So they'll head into the 10th with Alicia Hastings working off of a strike. Jessica Holbrook, meanwhile, with a spare. One more ball to come for Wenatchee, but first she'll wait Alicia Hastings and her first ball here in the 10th.
Oh, I think she started out just a little bit too far outside on that one.
About a toe width difference. Little high for Jessica there, but 9. And Wenatchee will roll a 226 in the Baker. That's an impressive Baker score right there. Alicia Hastings with the spare here for Eastmont. All done but the shouting here as Alicia Hastings steps up for one more ball in the 10th.
Nice finish.
And that's a beautiful way to finish. It'll be a 160 for Eastmont, 226 for Wenatchee. So the Panthers take 3 out of 4 here today. And with the differential, let's see, we'll get the total pin count here before we finish on the air. 6 and 11, 8 and 9, 19, 16 total pin count today for Eastmont. Meanwhile, it is 5 and 10 and 2,053, according to my numbers anyway, for the Wenatchee Panthers. So Wenatchee will take the first meeting of the 2 here today. And again, that total pin count at 2,053 to 1916. As Wenatchee improves to 3-1, Eastmont falls to 2-2 in the Big 9. We will take a break and come back with a little post game coming up next. You've been watching Big 9 Bowling today on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be right back.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCW Life Channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Our post-game show continues here on the NCW Life Channel, where the Wenatchee Panthers have knocked off the Eastmont Wildcats, and now talking with Kyla Hankins, sophomore for Wenatchee. Kyla, congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this. Your coach has selected you to be the lead bowler for your team, which means you set the tone, you set the pace, and boy, you did pretty well at that today.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking being the first one and having to know what to do, kind of, and just set a good example for them so they can figure out what to do too.
And I know you guys practice here, so you're familiar with these lanes, but you only get 10 minutes to warm up, and you're having to switch lanes back and forth. And I was talking about that first game. You had a 198 and 4 strikes in a row there at one point, and you finished with 3 strikes. And I just was thinking, how hard is that to kind of adjust per lane as to how the game is going?
They're pretty the same. It's probably one board difference, but we all bowl on them, and we kind of just watch each other. But you definitely have to pay attention when you're switching lanes.
I want to ask you, too, about when you guys face Eastmont. It seems to be intense. I don't know, but, I mean, I'm just looking at your guys' faces, and there's some smiles and stuff, but it seems to be a pretty intense matchup.
A little bit, yeah. It definitely has its moments, so.
So you'll meet again January 2nd, and I'm sure it'll be probably a whole different environment with Eastmont. You know, they're the defending champs, so that's the target on their back. But I'm sure you guys are happy to get this first win here tonight.
Yes, we really are. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
There they go, getting a 188 and a 198 and leading the way for the Wenatchee Panthers in the win here over Eastmont, 3 games to 1 here in the matchup there at Eastmont Lanes. Kyla Hankins joining us on the postgame show. We'll talk to Jeff Levitt, the head coach for Wenatchee, as we continue next on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Our post-game show continues here on the NCW Life Channel as the Wenatchee Panthers knock off Eastmont today by a total pin count of 137 difference. And both of those games, Jeff Levitt, went down to the final, 7th, 8th, 9th frame to make the difference.
Yes, absolutely. You know, in that first game, it was pretty much deadlocked. And it was nice to have Jessica in that anchor spot. She's a very calming influence on our team. She's been through these pressure situations before. She knows how to respond to those, and she knows how to help her teammates respond to those. She had a really good pre-match talk with the girls, and it really set the tone early on. And so I was confident that she was going to rise to the occasion. And because the bowler of the year last year is still on Eastmont's team, Alicia Hastings, and you saw that today. She bowled really, really well.
Well, we talked to Kyla Hankins because Paul and I were talking on the broadcast. You really want to have that right person to kind of set the tone for you, and I thought that Kyla did a great job at that today, and, you know, can't tell she's a sophomore.
Yeah, you know, we early on in the season, her release was off a little bit, and so we noticed that. We got her out of the lineup early on against whoever we started with, I can't remember. And so we got her over on the JV lanes, and we worked on some things in practice, got her release straightened out, and she has been locked in ever since. And so we like having her at the top. We call her Ice. That's her nickname because she's got ice water in the veins. And you saw that today. And so when she's got her shot right, she sets the tone at the very beginning. We read off her shot. The girls are looking to see how her ball's reacting. And so it's nice to have her at the top and Jessica at the bottom. And so, yeah, it's nice to see her straighten out a little bit.
You guys get off to a lead in that second game and kind of faltered a little bit there. Looked like Eastmont was going to reel you in. Midway through, you bring in Holly Shipley over, and boy, was that huge for that particular game.
Well, I noticed that Jaden was struggling a little bit. She was having trouble sticking on the approach, and some adjustments that we were trying to make with that, trying to get her shoe cleaned up, and it wasn't working. And so we needed to move her out of there. So we brought Holly, and I looked over at the JVs and said, okay, looks like Holly's got the most marks, so I brought her in. I've done that before. She's a senior. She knows what's expected. And then Jaden got a different pair of shoes, and she got things straightened out on the JV lanes. I brought her back because I saw that she was releasing the ball just like we know Jaden Thompson does, and boom, she just locked right in on that second Baker.
Yeah, strikes for you, and
she really rose to the occasion. She really
was. Well, congratulations on the win. I know these two teams get together. You practice on the same alley and everything else, but it just seems to be a little bit ratcheted up as far as the intensity.
There is an intensity level, even between the coaches. I mean, it's friendly competition. And we like when they succeed, we celebrate that because it's good for Wenatchee Valley Bowling to have Wenatchee strong and Eastmont strong. So we appreciate their program. We respect them immensely. They're very, very good. We're going to have to face them again, and it's not going to be, they're going to have a target on our backs when we see them again. So.
Well, that'll be January 2nd. We'll be back here to do that. Hope you have a happy holiday, Jeff.
All right, thank you so much, Eric.
You bet. There you go, Jeff Levitt joining us here on the postgame show. And that's going to wrap it up here as the Wenatchee Panthers knock off Eastmont in the first go-around here at Eastmont Lanes. Again, 2,053 to 1916, 137 pins. Not a lot when it all shakes out, but Wenatchee gets the win. Thanks for joining us here for Big Nine Bowling on the NCW Life Channel. For Dan Kuntz and for Uriah Darby, I'm Eric Grandstrom, and for Paul Paiva, have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching High School Sports on the NCW Life Channel. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you by Alignment Pros, Automoca, Color FX, Global Car Care, One Way Construction, and the Windmill Restaurant. NCW Life Channel's coverage is also brought to you by Charter College and the Walkabout Grill. This concludes today's coverage of high school sports on your home for local sports, the NCW Life Channel.